I do my top-down analysis. Okay, and please do take this with caution that this is not trading advice. This is just my opinion on it. This is all for educational purposes. When you are doing your own analysis, make sure that you are thorough and you go through the right procedures before you take a trade. So let's start with the Euro USD. So at the moment, I'm on the monthly chart, and I'm going to be trying to figure out, okay, where the market is going at the moment. So if we get our first get our tools out, so market from the top down, as in where has the market reacted from before it has decided to change. So these are the areas of importance to me. So market has reacted in each of these zones before it went further down. So this was the lowest of that particular zone. So market there, market a bit more down here, and also market at the very lowest point. So this is all done on the monthly. So now I'll check that with the weekly and see myself what's really going on. So let's just polish this up a bit. Yeah. So as you can see, market has going from a downtrend. So market went up, down, up, down, up, down, further to the retracement. Now it's looking like it's going to go further down into this particular zone. So before you take any further advice or any further entry, make sure that either these zones are violated, otherwise it's not going to make sense to you, as in where do you enter? Okay, are you going to enter just blindly? So this is on the weekly. Now let's check it out on the daily, what's really going on. So as you can see, it has entered this particular zone, and now it's starting to go onto the downside itself. Okay, so it looks like this is going to go further down, especially as it's just gained momentum. So you've got buyers pushing it up. You had a bit of a base, and then you got momentum to the downside, base, and now you got the momentum just confirming that that areas look like it's going to be more to the downside. So unless it comes to this zone, I'm not looking for any kind of entry. So if, for example, if I want to go into 4 hours, okay, and we can see that it has gone past a particular zone. So here is a zone itself that I think has to be likely, and then you got another zone itself here. So let's mark them a different color so you can see a bit better. So a lot of people, when they're saying, how do I know when to enter? So basically what you're trying to do is enter from the marked zones. So if price enters these particular zones, this is where you start to get that happy feeling of, right, now I'm going to either enter low or go enter high. But as you can see, okay, price went near here. Yes. So price entered these trigger zones, and then it started to reject a bit. So it nearly went to the zone under the support and resistance. Okay, so as this is a multiple touch, so this will be a major support and resistance. So it hit this zone, went further down to the downside, and it is gaining more momentum each time. So the wicks and the candles, okay, are not looking to lose strength, okay. Here, as you see in this, I'll zoom in, we had market going down, then we had an aggressive move from the buyers, then it stopped out with a base candle, then you had a momentum candle, and it's now going down with more force. So what this is telling you, okay, what's telling me really, is that it's more selling pressure than buying pressure. So why you would want to buy into this, okay, is very, very going to be unlikely. Try and see then where is it most likely going to be stopping. It's most likely to be stopping around about this blue zone, because that is the first time you had buyers into it. But also check what happens after it hits this zone. If it penetrates the purple zone and goes further to the downside, okay, you're now going to look for the next zone. Okay, so patience is key here. So this is what we'll do for the Euro USD at the moment. Okay, so at this moment, it's not showing any buying pressure, only selling pressure. So watch this space for this particular one. So now let's check out the GBP USD. Again, let's do top-down analysis. So at this moment, first of all, mark the zones itself. Okay, so we had, we'll just change the color first. So we've got here, and let's mark it back to orange. So price reacted. So this is a particular major zone because price entered this quite a few times. Again here, okay. So you had a bit of a tug and war. Okay, price then went below here, and you also got price to go below here, and you're also currently here at the moment. Okay, as you can see from the top down, it is a clear downtrend, more selling pressure than buying pressure. So let's now go down to the weekly. So from the weekly, as you can see, let's just tidy this up a bit. So here we are at the moment. So I'll just put this a bit better. Right. So we have price going to the upside, downside, upside, downside, upside. Now we had a lot of momentum from the downside. Now price has gone to the upside with a lot of momentum as well. Okay, so now the market has changed itself. Okay, so this is telling me that on the weekly, and if we look on the monthly, okay, if I just take them to one side, you have selling pressure more than buying pressure. Now let's check out what's happening on the daily. Okay, so price reacted from this particular zone, then it went further down. Okay, it has now breached this zone and it's starting to go further down. Okay, it has just gone below this zone. So price itself looks like it's going to go to the downside further. Okay, plus you got a bit of rejection. So let's look at from the 4-hourly point. So we've got quite a few rejections. So we had a rejection in this particular zone quite a while ago. Okay, and this particular zone itself has, in the same area, stopped it from price going down as well. So this could be a good reason to look for opportunities in the upcoming week for buying opportunities. So, but make sure that it goes further down, but it looks like the overall trend is still continuing into the downside. We haven't had any good opportunities from the buyers. So this is telling me overall that the sellers are in control than the buyers. Okay. And normally, whenever what happens with the Euro USD and the GBP USD, they work very, very side by side. So what that really means is that if the GBP USD is selling, the Euro USD is also selling, okay? But look at it from always from higher time frame, because sometimes GBP USD does work like gold, how gold moves, very volatile, okay? Whereas Euro USD is the most widely traded Forex pair. So a lot of stuff going on. So just watch the space for these two. Okay. Now let's look at how Apple is moving at the moment. Okay. So first of all, mark the zones. Mark the zones of what's really happened. And then from that, we can come up with a plan of what's really going on. So as you can see straight away on the monthly, on Apple stocks, it is on a bearish momentum, okay? So the overall body of the candle is larger than the wicks itself. So let's just try and see what's going on. And as I'll just mark the zone itself here. So this is so far the ranges of the zones that I've got. So now let's look at from the weekly. So weekly, as you can see, that we went from a bearish, now we're starting to lose momentum. So the wicks itself are now starting to become longer than the body. So this could mean that the beginning of a bull trend. So overall, it is in a downtrend because we haven't seen anything confirmation. So let's now go down a bit more to the daily. So on the daily, you can see a lot of pressure from the buyers. The buyers here have now really taken out a lot of things. So selling at one time was very, very big. Now it's gone further down. So this particular sell could be a zone that in the future that you can look for more buying pressure than selling pressure, because if you look carefully from the candle itself, we've got momentum, 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 more momentum from the selling pressure. This is the first time you're going to see that the pressure itself is going away. So you got wicks now forming, wicks now forming. So buying pressure has ceased to continue, because now we're seeing a big wicks rejection, even at major zones, which we drew on the higher time frame. This is telling me that we're going to have buying pressure. So look what's happened here now on the 4 hourly. This is a spike candle, okay? Also, this could be even a gap up, okay? So this is now telling me that, oh, buying pressure is starting to now come back. So what we can do is see what happens after today. So after today, you might see it, or even in the next couple of hours. What we need to see is more buying pressure from the bulls, so that it validates and also confirms that the buy is on rather than sell. Okay, this particular momentum candle has basically engulfed the previous candle and is now continuing to the top side. It is now penetrated the next zone. Okay, so what I would like to see in this particular one is that it goes up and then makes a bit of a retracement. So retracement, and that would be the best type for entries, because this itself is good candle, but you need a confirmation. So make sure that it goes to the top side, penetrates this, breaches it, then comes back, takes another order, and basically continues in the direction it's supposed to be in. If it now starts to fail further, that means more selling pressure. But overall, this candle on the 4 hourly to me is saying that buying pressure is coming. So let's find out what's really going to be happening in the upcoming hours as well. So let's now look at Pi Industries. This is an Indian stock, okay? So this is, I've been monitoring this for quite some time, and also this is now showing me very, very good rejections, okay? So we had a good run of buying pressure. And now we're starting to see pressure from the downside. So this itself, okay, is telling you that you've had an area of pressure. Now we're getting an area of pressure from the downside. So another way I do this is, first of all, before I do continue, I haven't marked my zones, which is very silly of me. So we've got there, there, and also here. All right, so here. Also, what I was going to say before is we've got a zone. So what that really means is this is a supply and demand style trading. So let me just see. So price has gone from the upside, now it's going to go down in the pay in a particular zone. The wick itself is quite high, okay? And if you see, the price itself did not go back into that zone. So this is telling me a good sign that price is leaving with force and momentum to the downside. So this is a brand new fresh zone. So it hasn't been really tested. So this itself, okay, is telling me that over the upcoming weeks or even it's going to be a lot of selling pressure. So here on the weekly, we see that it has made significant zones. It has even made cleaner zones as well. So let's just make it a bit darker. And this is where the price is at the moment. So price itself went further up, and now we've made ourselves another zone. Okay. So price itself has made another zone. It has reacted from that zone, and now it's going further down. Further down, it has, if you look at the strength of these particular candles, it is not getting weaker. So let's look at it from the daily point of view. Now we're starting to see few rejections. So what that really means is the wicks are starting to come through. We're now seeing wicks being penetrated on these particular zones. So unless you see any bullish momentum, you don't need to close these kind of trades, because if everybody's selling, why would you be buying? Okay. This has always been my thought, and I've said to quite a few people who know me personally that what is the validation that you have to say that this is going in the opposite direction? Okay, everybody's selling, why would you be buying? Or if everybody's buying, why would you be selling? Okay, give yourself the reasons. Okay, don't just say that, well, it's in a particular zone, it's going to react from zone. Okay, give evidence, prove it always. Okay, let's look at from the 4 hourly. Even on the 4 hourly, we haven't even had any momentum candles. So we're at a particular level, but it's not doing anything. So don't close a trade just because it's hit a level, okay? See how it reacts, okay? Let's look at the last one. This is Havells. So again, first thing, mark the zones, okay? Mark the highs, and then mark the lows, and then see what we do, what happens in a lower time frame as well. So it hit a particular zone. So remember, this is my version of doing this, okay? Everybody will have their own opinion, okay? Is this correct? 100% not correct. It is the way I do it. It is, okay? So you just perfect your strategy. And once you've perfected your strategy, okay, you'll see that your trades itself are going to get a lot better, okay? So at this moment on the monthly, okay, it is showing downtrend. Sorry, my mistake. On the monthly here, it is showing downtrend. But here, if you look carefully, that's a very big momentum candle on the monthly. It has engulfed really your last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months worth of action in 1 month. And we need it to end of the month as well. So once we mark that on the monthly, okay, let's look at from the daily, weekly. So far, we haven't got any rejections yet. We haven't got any pressure from the buyers yet, okay? So if somebody had held this particular trade, okay, they would have made a lot of profit. Now let's look at from the daily, right? Daily here is showing something quite interesting, okay? What's really happening here is that look at how the candles are being formed. The candles are themselves are getting smaller, 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 smaller until it came to about here. We're also seeing the very first time of a bullish, okay? We've had price not going below here, okay? But the overall strength is still with the downside, okay? So let's now look at from the 4 hourly, okay? This is telling you now for the very first time that there's going to be more buying pressure than selling pressure, okay? But unless you get a confirmation, meaning that you've got to see something like this. So price goes into the zone, a bit of retracement, then goes up. Unless you see that, you're not going to do anything, okay? At this moment, anything could happen, okay? You haven't got any confirmation yet that the trend has changed. Yes, you've got a confirmation that the trend is nearly coming to an end, but has it changed? No, okay? So this is my take on quite a few different things, okay? Please do your due diligence and make sure that you follow the charts as accurately as possible. Stick to your own strategy, okay? All opinions are mine, okay? This is not advice for you to take a trade. Make sure you do this carefully because Forex itself and the stocks, okay, is a very, very risky business, okay? Unless you are in this in the long run, okay, you are not going to really be making any kind of good fortunes as well, okay? So I'm going to leave it as at this now. So make sure you follow me as well as take my advice with a pinch of salt, because make your charts as good as possible so that you can trade with your eyes without any indicators, and you're going to see your results better, right? Thank you very much for today and have a good day.